We better have a real preacher tomorrow. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Robo Preacher may be making an appearance tomorrow.
I don't give a damn. It better be someone saying some biblical thing into that damn microphone on the night of the NBA lottery. Because Wembanyama represents the only pathway for the Detroit Pistons to make a seismic shift in their franchise. You can fool yourself any other way you want. The only paradigm shift. This is a generational player, David. And again, I'm weirded out that he's grown to 7'5", and he's not the guy he was at 7 foot, but whatever. I'm just making a point to you. We'll get into that. We are going to cover that tomorrow because you have one way forward. And, David, you best pray. Now,
we'll see.
There ain't no we'll see. Bring the collar.
Oh, no.
Yes, you brought it for Cade. You bring it tomorrow.
Yeah, what has that done for us? Man can't play. He's hurt all the time.
Things happened.
7'5" center's going to be hurt, too.
Hey. I'm going to help you with something. First thing is, I'm going to hire a coach for the Pistons at 4 o'clock, or this franchise is clueless. Now, I know they're clueless, and I know they won't hire who I want, but I think we could have some good vibes headed into the lottery. And then that might get you to turn to Deuteronomy or whatever the hell that book is called and pray for Vic. How do you say it one more time?
It is called Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy.
But I called it something else based on some things I've heard before.
Why don't you turn to the book of Wembanyama, chapter 1. But we'll get to it. We're going to cover that thing start to finish. I wanted to bring up the Lions here. Now, file this under things that I don't think will happen for 600, Alex. But I want to give you an example. We are sitting here in mid-May, and you're going to see stories like this around the league. Players, contracts, angst, tension, and maybe some trades. The NFL has turned into the NBA in this regard, in that player movement has risen. There's a good chance you see Budda Baker get dealt from Arizona as an example. Well, the player I'm going to bring up, I think makes you a Super Bowl team. I'm not afraid to say it. I mean, you guys know I think the world of this team this fall. I think they are going to win this division. I think we are going to have a home playoff game. I think we are going to have Kenny Cott topless in a cummerbund for no reason at that playoff game. But the player I want to bring up, I can't say, I think it'd be stupid for the team to deal him, but it's also stupid to not pay him. The player I bring up is New York Jet Quinnen Williams. Now, for those of you who are bored by defensive tackles, well, this might not be the segment for you. But Quinnen Williams, if you value what Aaron Donald does, if you value what Chris Jones does, if you value what Javon Hargrave does, if you value what Jeffrey Simmons does, now, albeit all slightly different players, but if you value game wreckers in the middle of a defense, Quinnen Williams is the name you're sleeping on. Now, you don't like my opinion or value me watching games, fine. Maybe you worship at the altar of Pro Football Focus, where I believe Quinnen Williams was the number 4 defensive tackle in football last year, sharing the top 5 with, you guessed it, the names I just gave you. Well, currently, Quinnen Williams is in a bloody contract negotiation with the Jets, and it's not going well. David tells me that he's done what all well-adjusted adult professionals do. Taken to social media and acted like a 15-year-old high school student, changing his bio to, in quotes, defensive tackle for ... close quote. All right, that aside, here's my point. The Lions had a really good offseason. All in. Remade their secondary. Got better in the draft, albeit not drafting traditionally valued positions. I don't want to argue about it anymore. I understand both sides of it. But let me make the point to you. For those of you that felt they didn't address the defensive line, for those of you that were Jalen Carter truthers like Rico, I stayed unemotional about it. Quinnen Williams addresses all of that. So here's my question to you. Do you believe this is going to be a really good football team this year? If your answer is yes, you're not picking in the top 20 in the NFL draft. I would take your first round and third round pick next year. And I'd call the Jets right now. And you can laugh at that. But you know what's funny? If you laugh at me, then you're laughing at Howie Roseman, the general manager who's built the single best roster in all of football, the Philadelphia Eagles. Howie Roseman is one of the most aggressive traders to acquire talent in all of football. Do you know who else is aggressive? The other team you're chasing in the NFC, the San Francisco 49ers. John Lynch is aggressive. If you believe, look, my belief is if you put Quinnen Williams in the middle of this defense, you become a team that is on par with Philly and Frisco. Can't say you're better than them. And maybe you're not quite as good, but boy, howdy, you're sitting at that dinner table. Quinnen Williams is a game wrecker. He is a mandatory double team. He's a freak show. Oh, and you're going to have to pay him. But if I have to hear another Lion fan act like a dollar millionaire, like no one is supposed to get paid ever, I'm going to vomit all over myself. This is a story worth monitoring. The Jets just acquired Aaron Rodgers, a lot of money, spent a lot of money. That they're not exactly in line to dole out the 25, 26, 27 million it might take for Quinnen Williams. Here's my point. Aiden Hutchinson's entering year 2 of a 5-year rookie scale deal. James Houston's entering year 2 of a 4-year rookie wage scale deal. Jack Campbell, rookie wage scale. Jahmyr Gibbs, rookie wage scale. Penei Sewell, rookie wage scale for at least 2 more years. Want me to keep going? Your secondary, a lot of those guys are signed short term. You have all the money in the world. Jahmyr Gibbs, 5-year wage scale. Running back, not signing him anyways. Why, David?
You don't pay running backs.
Bang! Here's my point. I would go out. I would make the call to Joe Douglas. I'd offer a 1 and a 3. No protections. No nonsense. Quinnen Williams. They say no. They hang up on me. So be it. But if they're willing to move him, I'm at the front of that line. Because you add this guy to the middle of this defense, a defense that played at a top 10 level the last 10 weeks of the season. You add this guy, you're a Super Bowl team. I want to know if you are ready, much like Zeke Elliott around Christmas, to jump into the Salvation Army bucket. Are you ready to go all in? Because I don't need next year's first-round pick. I don't want to talk about draft capital anymore. This is one of the pivotal seasons in Lions history, right here, right now. This upcoming season could cement Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell and what could be the next several years of Lions football as maybe being a golden era for everybody involved. I want in. I think if Quinnen Williams is remotely available, and again, I'm not putting him on that Julius Randle sales rack, but if the Jets can't get this guy signed or things fall apart, and you offer a 1 and a 3, and you get Williams signed to a 4-year, $110 million contract, I'm ready. I'm ready to go in and do this. Because this is about one thing, guys. It's about winning a Super Bowl. It's not about winning a division. It's not about hosting a home playoff game, despite how much fun it's going to be down there with Kenny for it. It's not about winning playoff games. It's not about getting to the NFC title game. It's not about getting to a Super Bowl and going home with your garden hose in your hand. It's about winning the Lombardi Trophy. That's all this is about. And so many people in this town have been beaten down for so long that you don't even remember why they play the games anymore. So when I say what I'm saying to you, just understand it is because I have never changed. It is about winning it all. Making a phone call when nobody thinks a player is available, that's what Howie Roseman does. Making a phone call when you see a player disgruntled, that's what the elite GMs do. And when the moment strikes, you are willing to go out and shock the world and make a very bold move. Quinnen Williams, if you were a Jalen Carter person Would it not satisfy you? If you were just, hey, I don't love the positions they drafted in the draft. Okay. Well, what if I told you they took a first-round pick and acquired one of the elite game wreckers who's just entering his prime? I don't care if the Jets ask for 2 first-round picks. I don't care. I'm not telling you I'm automatically doing it. I'm making a point. I would think long and hard and have that conversation. It wouldn't be an automatic no. I want to win a Super Bowl. And you know what else Quinnen Williams represents? Let me be very clear. An investment in Aiden Hutchinson. That's an investment in my franchise player. And the last time I checked, how did Howie Roseman invest in Jalen Hurts? Elite O-line, elite wide receivers, drafting Devontae Smith, trading up to get him, trading for A.J. Brown, right? How do the Niners invest in Nick Bosa? Continuing to use draft capital and build that front seven. Guys, this is how it's done. Now, I'm not mad if you say no, but I want to give you a window into why I'm saying yes. So Quinnen Williams is out here, strip the Jets from the social media, defensive tackle, ... If I'm Brad Holmes, and I'm sure as hell not, but if I were, I'd pick up the phone, and I'm going to take a page from Howie Roseman's book. And I'm going to try to get the big man here. Can you imagine a front, David, with Houston and Hutch and Quinnen Williams? Oh, and by the way, you know what Quinnen Williams is? A big-time investment in Jack Campbell.
Thank you. Thank you.
In a way, it's justifying these selections. It's insulating these selections.
It's exactly what I said. For all those people who were saying defense, upset about the Jahmyr Gibbs pick, guess what? All of that's your Band-Aid. That makes every single player on that defense better.
Let me ask you a question, Kenny. If the Jets came back and said they wanted 2 first-round picks.
I'm not hanging up the phone. We're still talking. The conversation's still happening. I may eventually end up agreeing to it, but the conversation is not over. That's not a non-starter for me.
Yeah.
I may end up accepting that offer.
You know what I don't care about? The money. Unemotional about the money.
Seeing you brought up a great point. They have so many guys on rookie deals still. It wouldn't matter. They can structure it in 3-4 years. You can get out of it or whatever.
David, I got news for you. If getting Quinnen Williams means that Taylor Decker doesn't get a contract and I flip Sewell to left tackle, then guess what I'm doing? That's what I'm doing.
You have a GM for a reason. He can find another guy to play right.
Quinnen Williams is not 30. He's not 29. He's not 28. He's not 27. He's not 26. He's not 25. Quinnen Williams is 24 years old. If the Jets can't afford him, if the Jets don't want him, find out. When a player like that scrubs a team from his social media, make the call. In the end, that's all I really want. I want to read a report that the Lions reached out. Because that, my friends, that makes you a Super Bowl team. 248-539-9797.